We're here in reference to what started off as a missing person and is now being rolled a homicide of Matthew McGlaughlin. I'm David Degroat Byers. We spoke the other day. This is my partner, Deputy McCarty. We're just trying to get the full story. So again, man, like last time, like I told you last time, now that we are out in the open and we're at the situation we are, from the beginning to the end, I need every possible detail that you have in reference to the situation. Do you want me to explain to you the whole movie trailer versus movie thing again?
I get it.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, brother.
So I would say it was, for what Joyner was thinking, it was pre-plotted beforehand. Because I would tell him about Matt still had a drug habit and he was still talking shit and making rumors. Everything just kind of pissed off Joyner, so several occasions. Kind of told him, like, hey, no, don't kill him. Just, kick him off the property or something. Or, like, give him a stern talking to again. To the point where it eventually came down to the point where he says that he was gonna go with the plan for Matt to get killed. So when Matthew was over in Colorado, dealing with the VA, getting all that stuff done for himself, went to go grocery store, pick up groceries. He got dropped off at Cassandra and Jason's house. I went to go walk with him as we walked up the road at the cart carrying the groceries of everything. As we got to an intersection, a shot rang out. Matt got shot in his right lung from Joyner's rifle, specifically his AR-15. Matt, not knowing what's happening, he did say, I got shot, and he starts to freak out. Then Joyner comes from around the corner and with my Beretta, he sticks it to his face and shoots him in the jaw, which makes his eyes swell up. And he starts to choke at his blood as he hits the floor. And then he hovers over him with an execution shot and gets him right in the temple. He's waiting in the bushes for him.
On your timeline, you have rough dates or that sort of stuff?
It's rough dates, but I would say July 25th is the execution date.
Okay.
Everything
Cool,
else is more just a murmur of a pre-plot that he made.
So my one question for you is I want you to explain to me the plan that you're talking about.
A plan to kill Matt that Joyner made.
Okay.
So his idea was initially he was going to come up the road that we were going to have, and he was going to try to snipe him with his 308 from a distance. And then his plan changed when Matt said he was getting dropped off over by the other road. So then Joyner's idea was he was going to take my Beretta so he can have a sidearm. And then he grabbed his AR and then waited in the bushes for us to come up, and he told me to stick to one side of the road and to be very loud when I'm near the area. So when he sees Matt come up on the side, despite how dark it is, he doesn't need to worry about who it is.
And so, more specifically on this plan, when it was discussed previously, how was it discussed?
It was discussed in person because he showed up a little bit beforehand when Matt wasn't there. He just tried to talk about it because he figured bones would be tacked and shit like that, no matter what.
Was it earlier that day?
He did show up earlier that day for when that did happen. He had his van parked all the way at the beginning of the road where you saw me and Joyner come up. He had his van parked all the way down there. He had me walk him up. He tried to plan it about what was going to go down, saw that his plan was going to work, into the other one, and then that was the execution he made. He told me preemptively, he said, "You're going to help me with this. You're going to help me with this. You're not going to tell anyone, or I will kill you." Because then I would be knowing too much.
So, you mentioned that you had convinced him not to kill him.
I tried to beforehand several times.
And it was that same day?
No, that was a few days beforehand when like he brought like Jerome over and I told him about the situation and he's just like, "I'm gonna kill him," and I was just like, "Calm down, don't kill him," and they just started ranting off.
Explain what made you decide to participate in the murder of your friend.
It was out of fear for my own safety because he also dropped me off at my house for Christmas before, so he knows where my family lives. And I know he would be the type of man to do it as well.
Describe that.
I know he's the kind of man, if he's angry enough, he'll just shoot someone just for talking shit. So if I became a loose end somehow and he found out that I was talking about it, I'm pretty sure I would get an end cap in it as well. Have the same fate as Matt.
What makes you so fearful of Joyner?
It's because I know he's capable of doing it. Just because he says it, it also means he can do it. Because he says beforehand that he has killed someone around the property before with his dad. Which is believable, at least.
What role did you play in the body?
He had me just hold a bag open so he could dump all the parts in, so he could make sure my DNA was on it as well.
Okay, so I'm sorry, say that again?
He wanted me to hold the bags so he could dump the body parts in so he could make sure my DNA was on the bags as well.
And how do you know that?
Because it's what he told me. He said, "You're going to join me or you're going to get the same thing as he did. So you're going to help me with this body if you like it or not."
Take a breath for a second.
Thank you.
We know the two weapons that were used in the murder, what was used in the decapitation of your friend?
The decapitation was the weapon used was a sledgehammer with the axe head on it that he bought in the store specifically for that purpose.
What was it bought from?
I'm guessing Harbor Freight or something like that.
So, before the execution of that plan, when you walked down to Matthew, why were you walking down to Matthew?
To help him with the groceries. He wanted to see the puppy.
Okay.
His groceries usually need at least 2 people because the way he piled up on top, it usually tips over, so someone needs to hold on to it.
And at that point in time, did you know that your friend was going to be shot?
Yes.
How did you know?
Because when I was walking down, I know Joyner's still behind me with his rifle. I still know the plan was that he had set in motion was still going to happen. But I didn't know what to think at the moment at the time. Kind of went numb for most of it.
You mentioned that Joyner had told you to be loud.
Yes.
Were you loud?
I was loud when I was coming up to the area that he was.
And what were you doing to be loud?
Just talking to Matthew a little extra loud. Just kind of raising my voice or trying to make jokes.
When Matthew was initially shot, how far away was Joyner?
About from the door to, I'd say like the table in that corner. About that distance of him hiding in the bushes as it was dark outside. Almost no sunlight.
It's about 12 yards.
About so.
Okay.
So Joyner had a bucket down there because we brought me and Joyner after he killed him. He brought all the groceries and stuff back into the house, emptied everything into the house, grabbed the cart with a bucket and the hacksaw, and then he went back down with me to have watch. And then he grabbed his phones, his tablets, a small bag, his wallet, different personal things of personal identification to burden. Everything was getting put in that bucket. Then he had Joyner had me help him drag Matt behind the tree about like 200 feet past the road. And he went to go try to cut his leg with a hacksaw, but it didn't work. So he went to go put that in the bucket as well. And by the time me and Joyner got back to the house, he made a fire to burn out all of his belongings.
Where's the hacksaw?
We have it.
It was melted in the bottom of the...
Oh, so you guys had done...
I went to go show them where it was.
Okay. Okay. I don't think I have anything else that I need from him.
So,
if you have some more questions.
did you start dismembering Matt before or after I called you guys to ask where he was at?
It was beforehand, before the first initial call for the missing persons report. He already had no head and hands by that point. And then he had me hold the bag open, so Joyner had me hold the bag open to put Matt's head and hands in the bag, and then put the bag in the bucket, and then he said he tossed it on the side of the ditch.
What day did you guys start dismembering that body?
I don't remember the day it was for dismembering. It was more just rough times of what it was. because it was almost a week before, almost a week after he died was when he started to dismember him, and it's when he smelled bad and started bloating.
Okay, how long did it take you guys to dismember the body?
He threw away the last piece around last week, which was the torso and a leg bone. But there was no meat on it, it was just nothing but ribs and spine, hips.
Is that the statement that you wrote out?
So I had him write the statement while he did it on recording too. Rita has it, she was in here with me. And then there's a timeline of
It's 2 pages for the statement.
So what we're probably gonna have you do for the statement is what I want you to do, man, is I want you to read it for the record out loud. And then we'll have you explain the timeline again to us, okay?
Yep.
He initialed, he signed, he dated. So just read the statement out loud for us, okay? From the beginning all the way to the end.
About 2 weeks before Joyner shot Matthew on several occasions, they signed the backside. About 2 weeks before Joyner shot Matt on several occasions, after I would talk about Matthew, I would tell Joyner of Matthew's drug and alcohol problem, of excessive use, and how he would constantly complain and start rumors or ill-speaking of Joyner. I talked him out of him trying to kill him a few times. After I would tell him these things he wouldn't listen. About 3 days beforehand of when Matt's incident happened, it was planned that he was going to kill him. Joyner was going to kill Matthew. He told me if I was to tell anybody and did not help him, he would kill me. For the fear of my own safety, I went with that. For the night of Matt's death, Matt was out for the day dealing with the VA and getting groceries. I walked down over to Matthew and where Cassandra was at to help him with the groceries to bring him back up. That's my section. Me and Matthew walked up with our stuff. As we got closer to the intersection, a shot rang out. Joyner shot Matt in his right lung with his AR-15, which made Matt panic. As he was in panic, Joyner comes up close and shoots one round from my handgun, my 22FS, into his jaw, making his eyes swell up. As Matt laid on the floor choking on his own blood, Joyner walks right above him and puts one more round into Matt's skull. As soon as that happens, he aims it at me and then lowers it. Me and Joyner, after the fact, take everything that Matt brought in his cart back to the house. We unload everything, and then me and Joyner both walk back down to where Matt was, grabbed all of his personal effects, cards, devices, anything with information, and put them in an empty bucket to burn. Later. We set it aside, and he tells me to help him move the body. So I grabbed the legs, and he grabbed the upper half, and we drag him and lay him under a pine tree. As then he grabs a hacksaw and tries to cut his legs, but the bone breaks the blade. So we left him under the tree and walked back to the house to burn all of Matt's stuff that we had in the bucket. He told me to put his phones, his tablets, wallets, other items of personal information inside the bucket. Joyner comes back a few days later, promising the same threat and outcome He told me before. He had brought a sledgehammer axe, which he used to cut off the hands and the head of Matthew. And he tells me to open the bag to put them in. Joyner tells me to open the bag to have him put the Matthew's hands and head inside the bag. And afterwards, he tells me that he threw it in a drainage ditch somewhere and in the middle of the road. As more and more time passes, he would come by a few days, check on the body. And then he did only the same process as before, with cutting off his limbs within the spans of different days. Cutting off his limbs, no bucket, only just black bags. As of last week, we checked on it, and it was missing a shoulder blade and an arm, and it was moved by wild dogs. And yet again, as of last week, it only became a rib cage and a leg joint, and Joyner has me help him bag it. He's still threatening to kill me. Then he dumps the body somewhere on the road as his usual spot for then. As time comes on, then the sheriff's office calls me for me and Joyner to come in for a statement. And he was coaching on me what to say, and I followed out of fear for my life and complied to him again.
So to describe, before we get into the timesheet, timeline, describe what you mean by coaching.
He was coercing me on what to say, what not to say, like in terms like, we don't know Yo-Yo, I left at this time, he left at this time, he had these things.
So basically trying to make your guys' stories identical.
Yes.
Why didn't you come back to pick you up yesterday?
He was out there.
Okay.
And I was walking to the house, which is only 2 miles that way.
Okay. Explain that timeline to us.
So for the timeline, Matt's official date of death was July 25th. That's when Joyner shot him. A rough estimate of almost a week passes, and Joyner chops off the hands and the head, and he dumps off everything else. A few more days pass, Joyner cuts down the limbs as the body is more bloated. And then, as of last week, Joyner bags the rest of the torso and tosses it.
I don't have anything else that I want to ask you or need to ask you at this point in time. But if you lie at all, man, we're about to find out. Or, I mean, to be real honest with you, we didn't believe you guys at all. From the get-go. I didn't buy anything you guys were telling me.
I'm aware.
And your guys' story was, it's wild because we could tell where you guys had cooperated and tried to make everything identical, and then there was times where it was like you guys were on opposite sides of the earth, you know, which when people are lying, you know, they kind of do a lot of weird yeah, I appreciate you being honest, man.
It feels nice to actually tell someone.
I'm sure, man. That's a heavy fucking burden to carry, bro. It's your friend. He was murdered, cold blood.
He was.
And chopped up. By what it sounds like, by people that he really trusted. According to his mom, he talked very highly about you guys.
He did. At least me, because he told his mom he looked at me as a little brother as well, and he wanted to protect me.
It's true. It's an accurate statement.